Marissa, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your day to join us and share a little bit of your insight. First of all, how are you doing?
I am fantastic.
Awesome. I'm so glad to hear it. So, I don't want to waste any time at all. I want to just get right into the nitty gritty. So, Marissa, the first question I have for you is what did you think that quote unquote success would look like? But when you achieved it, it was perhaps something a little different. And maybe a different way to word that is what does success actually mean to you?
So, success, and that's a great question, Makoshi, and I'm glad that we're starting it off with that. So, success to me means to be spiritually wealthy. That's what success means to me. I I've had quite an entrepreneurial journey. I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years. I'm just about to launch my fourth company, which I'll be launching in 2022, called the Joy Institute. And along that journey, there have been times where I have been very monetarily wealthy, and there have been times where I have been very monetarily poor. It literally has been a roller coaster. But throughout all of it, what I knew and what I still know is that in my core, at my essence, I am the same person. And I have never defined my self-worth by my net worth. So for me to be wealthy, it's about being spiritually wealthy. It's about being emotionally whole. It's about being able to show up for the people that I love. And it's about being able to live a life that aligns with my core values. That's what success and wealth means to me.
Ooh, I love that so much. So, was there an obstacle or a challenge that you've experienced that brought forth a realization around this that supported your evolution or most aware and high self?
I would say that really my spiritual journey and knowing who I was, not necessarily having the courage to be who I was, but knowing who I was really started in my childhood. And that's a differentiator, a delineation that I want to make, because very often we know in our soul who we are, but we lack the courage to honor that person and to step into that most authentic life. So for me, when I look back at what my journey has been starting from when I was little, I've always felt that I was a little bit on the outside of just the status quo. I had a lot of friends growing up, but I just always felt that there was something about me that didn't quite fit in or belong. And when I was in ninth grade, my parents were divorced and my mom moved me to a very affluent area in Baltimore. And it really was in that moment, Makosi, where I knew that I didn't belong because it was a very materially driven type of community and society. And I never felt that I fit in there. And I really think that the situations that really shine a light on our shadows are really difficult situations. Those are the areas where we really have the opportunity to discover who we were. As a 14 or 15-year-old girl, though, I I didn't have the courage or the self-awareness to understand why I felt so disconnected and so uncomfortable. And when I look back, that really was the beginnings for me of knowing that I was not going to really thrive in a materially oriented world, that I really belong in a much more spiritually oriented world. That's when it really hit me, when I was at that age.
I love that so much. You're speaking my language. I absolutely, from a very young age, had such an awareness and exploration of who I was. But like you mentioned, there's some courage that's required in
Mhm.
order to really fully own that expression. So, where did you find the courage? And also, when did you begin to step into the full expression of who you authentically are?
So I'm still creating that courage. Courage is something to both be created and discovered. I am continuously on the journey of discovering my courage and creating my courage. I would say that I'm 54 years old. I would say when I hit about 50 is really when I really started to step into my courage to be 100% living in my authenticity. And that's not to say that up until that point, my entire life was a lie. I'm not saying that, but I definitely had a veil over the essence of who I was and truly showing up and being more focused on making sure that I was making other people and living in a place of self-sacrifice. And I'm by nature a helper and a pleaser. If you look at the Enneagram, I am off the charts as the helper and pleaser model. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I definitely, my heart is full when I am helping other people. But when you sacrifice yourself at the expense of helping other people, that's actually not serving anybody. There's a saying that says, we're not required to set ourselves on fire to keep other people warm. And that saying regarding self-sacrifice, that is a lesson that my soul has continuously had to learn. And I think that it's something that I've been learning not only in this lifetime, but previous lifetimes. And it's the lesson that I am going to have to keep learning until I get that right. The lesson about self-love, not never sacrificing self-love to be able to love and serve others.
Ooh, that's absolutely incredible. I'm so focused on allowing, I call it spiritual selfishness, divine selfishness, which when we really honor what is in our own best interest, it actually is in everyone's highest good. But
No doubt.
we have to have so much awareness about what actually is in our best interest, because sometimes, like you were saying before, sometimes it's leaning into those uncomfortable things that actually is creating the opportunity to explore what's in our highest good.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Can I ask you, how has all of this, if it has or hasn't, has it influenced how you operate in your business, the things that you offer? How has it showed up in your service to the world?
Great question. As I mentioned, I'm going to be launching my fourth business. The first business that I had, which I left 12 years ago, was a company that really helped organizations to step into their mission and their purpose through the creation of education and training programs, marketing programs, communications programs. And the thing that I was always most proud about with that business is that I created a culture where people were really able to thrive. And at my core, I want to do what I can to help other people really live their most authentic lives, to really step into their purpose, to be able to create environments and relationships where they feel safe. And that is what I did with my first company. That's the thing of which I'm most proud, is the culture of psychological safety and growth and connection. That was the most important thing that I did when I was running my first company. And I tried to do that for my clients as well, always be someone that they saw as a trusted advisor and a safe consultant that could really help them take their business to the next level. When I left that company and I launched my second company, Successful Culture, that's the name of the company. And that company has been completely focused on creating extraordinary places to work where people feel safe and seen and heard and relevant and know that they matter and that they can also step into their greatest potential. So that's definitely a thread, a theme for me. And now as I move into the next season of my life and the next phase of my journey, it is all about helping people go through radical transformation to really step into their most authentic lives. So that's the theme really that I think, looking back at my journey, my entrepreneurial and my professional journey and the mentoring that I do for so many people, it really is around the message of helping people live their most authentic lives build their greatest organization, step into their greatest leadership potential. That's really all what I've been about.
I love that so much. So I want to wrap this up, but I have one last question for you.
Sure.
And if the people listening could just take away one key learning from our conversation and from your experiences, what would that be?
So that's two questions. So the first question is, what can they take away from this dialogue, right? What I said in the very beginning, my idea of success is about being spiritually wealthy, emotionally whole. That is where you're going to find your greatest joy. It is found internally. It is not found externally. It is not found in the material aspects of the world. That would be the first thing. The second thing regarding my experience and what they can take away. I live by the motto that when we become part of the universe becomes part of us. It's so important to reach out to others, to be parts of communities that align with who we are, to ask for help. We are not meant to travel our journeys alone. There is no shame in asking for help. In fact, I would say that the greatest leaders have the most important strength of asking for help, knowing that you don't have all the answers. So that would be the second thing to take away, is that when we become part of the universe becomes part of us. Put yourself out there, connect with others. We are all connected. You don't need to travel this journey.
That is absolutely a beautiful ribbon to tie this all with because I personally, when I see where we're headed in the future, we've been experiencing such drastic division. And
Mhm.
to me, that's a sign that there's an opportunity for an even deeper level of connection and collaboration in business, education, politics, so on and so forth, moving forward in the future. So, thank you
Yes,
so much for sharing your genius with
you're
us.
welcome. Because I'd like to just add one more thing
Yes, please
about the
do.
whole thing about being connected. Okay. One of the things that I do, especially during spring and summer when I drive around, is I leave a case of water in my car and a bulk size box of granola bars. And I would encourage everybody who's watching this to do the same. When you see someone homeless, when you see someone on the street, we are all connected. That person that you're seeing was born to parents that love them. That is somebody's son. It might be someone's spouse. It might be someone's daughter. It might be someone's mother, father. We have to remember that we are all the same and we all want the same. And that is to be seen and to be loved and to know that we matter in this world. So I'm encouraging and asking and inviting everyone who is seeing this, when you see someone homeless, when you see someone struggling, there is a fine line between being someone that needs help and that can give help. And we've all been on both sides of that line. Carrying around bottled water, a box of granolas, when you see somebody and give that to them and make eye contact with them, what you're doing is you're letting them know that you are connected to them and that they matter. And so that's all about being part of the. So I just wanted to share that. That is just one thing that we all can do to remind ourselves that we are all connected.
Absolutely. It's such a small, seemingly small thing to just keep that in mind and be mindful and have those things on hand in
Yeah.
order to be ready and prepared for those moments. But
Yep.
to someone that could make all the difference,
All the difference.
all the difference. It's
Just to
so
be seen.
simple.
Just to be seen.
Absolutely. And bring us back to our humanity.
Yes.
Oh, I love that so much. Thank you for sharing all of your wisdom, Marissa. I so appreciate you for taking a few minutes out of your day to share a little bit about your journey and your insight into the importance of spiritual alignment and authenticity in not only who you're being, but also infusing that into your life, your relationships, your business, and the service that you're putting out into the world. It's absolutely incredible. I hope you have
Thank
a
you.
fantastic rest of your day.
You too. Bye.